Remember, if there is one core teaching at the heart of this philosophy, it's that we're not as smart and as wise as we'd like to think we are. If we ever do want to become wise, it comes from the questioning and from humility, not, as many would like to think, from certainty, mistrust, and arrogance. Ryan Holiday, The Daily Stoic. Here are 5 lessons and relevant quotes from Marcus Aurelius that can transform the way you treat and interact with your own mind and world. Number 1. You have to control only yourself and nothing else. A terrifying but liberating truth, indeed. Are you a perfectionist, a control freak, who wants everything and everybody around you to be as much in order as you wish? You go mad the moment you think that nothing is going as per your plan and that everything is chaotic and topsy-turvy. But have you ever introspected to find if you are ever in control of your own mind? One thing that the Stoic philosophy teaches is the overwhelmingly peaceful truth that you don't have much control over anything. All you can control is yourself. At the end of the day, it is your actions and your thoughts that you are responsible for. I can't change the world or other people, I can only change myself. The fact that you can control nothing but yourself is terrifying and somehow liberating. On top of that, your only control is over the present. Remember also that each of us lives only in the fleeting present moment, and that all the rest of our lives is either already been lived or is undisclosed. Each person's life is but a small thing, and small is the little corner of the earth here he lives. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, Notebook 3, Note 10. Just like Elsa said in Frozen, let it go, the past is in the past. The only life anyone loses is this one, the one he's living, and the only life anyone lives is the one he loses. It follows that the longest life and the shortest life come to the same thing. The present moment is equal for all, and therefore its passing is equal for all. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, Notebook 2, Note 14. At first, it's a nerve-wracking concept, but ends up bringing peace and perspective in our hectic and non-stop world. Number 2. Don't make yourself miserable by trying to peep into other people's hearts. You don't have to know what's going on in other people's hearts. Most people become nosy busybodies sometimes. Who visited the next door neighbor yesterday? What did they talk about? What were they planning to do together? Are they dating? Even more than that, you want to judge people's decisions and weigh their morals against yours and figure out where you stand in this imaginary point system you have made up in your head. One doesn't commonly see people becoming miserable as a result of not taking note of what's going on in someone else's soul, but anyone who's unaware of the activity of his own soul can't help but be miserable. Marcus Aurelius Meditations, Notebook 2, Note 8. You need to learn that you have to stay in your lane and worry about your own crap. Number 3. Everything happens for a reason. Throughout Meditations, Marcus says several things that we'd sum up in today's day and age as everything happens for a reason. He argues that, since we have no control over anything besides ourselves, why not succumb to what's happening in life as if it were supposed to happen to us? In this context, it would be relevant to quote Maria von Trapp, who once said in The Sound of Music, "Nothing comes from nothing." There are 2 reasons, then, why you should gladly accept whatever happens to you. First, because the experience happened to you, was prescribed for you, and was the product of a web somehow woven just for you way back in time. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, Notebook 5, Note 8. He puts particular emphasis on how we get our thoughts from certain places. Whether it be a teacher, an experience happening in front of us, or an unwise peer, all thoughts we have arise from some source. And while it's all supposed to happen to us, we can use discretion in who we allow our teachers to be. It's important to determine whether these sources are good or bad, corrupted or true. This thought can help us in maintaining my mental health and good shape by reminding us that everything happening in our life is happening as a result of something else. In any case, remembering that all thoughts and feelings in our body have a source helps us to get better inspiration and sift out the thoughts that have no business staying in our queue of thoughts. Number 4, make your mind your own retreat. Online research estimates that people in the U.S. spend around 5% to 10% of their annual income on vacations every year. Local churches boast retreat opportunities, and airlines offer point systems to encourage people to get away more. For people living in one of the greatest countries, they sure do have to escape and retreat from their lives a lot. There's no retreat more peaceful and untroubled than a man's own mind, and this is especially true of a man who has inner resources which are such that he has only to dip into them to be entirely untroubled. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, Notebook 4, Note 3. Marcus has an interesting thought in Notebook 4 about how we should be able to retreat into our own mind. He discusses how we should make sure that we have inner resources that make our own mind a pleasant place to be. He encourages bolstering those inner resources and being able to retreat from the chaos around us without ever having to go anywhere. He goes on later in the same note to say, make sure that these inner resources are concise and fundamental so that, when they present themselves to you, they are immediately sufficient to wash away every vexation once more and to send you back without resenting whatever it is that you're returning to. What if our inner resources could be just as powerful to relax us as any vacation or physical retreat? A physical retreat means nothing if we don't have the ability to retreat into ourselves in some way. If you can't sit still with yourself for 5 minutes, or enjoy time alone, then maybe there are some inner resources you need to cultivate. So many issues people struggle with today are strongly related to the fact that we don't know how to be alone anymore. We can't stand ourselves, and so we drink and self-medicate and avoid until we don't feel anything anymore. Marcus, in his journals, advocates for getting to know oneself so well that to be with just yourself is more comforting to be in the world. And that's a goal we should all be striving for today. Number 5, remove I've been harmed and the harm goes as well. In other words, harm is in the eye of the harmed. If you don't believe you've been harmed, then there's no harm. Our life remains replete with situations where we think we have been undeservedly harmed by our friends and relatives. It all boils down to, harm is in the eye of the harmed. After learning this truth, don't you wish you had adopted it in the beginning of your so many relationships in your life? Everything is as you take it to be. Mononymous of Syracuse. Throughout his writings, Marcus has a similar thought of the fact that nothing external to you can make you a worse person or put you in a worse state. Only you can determine whether you experience harm, detriment, or ruin, because all of those are in the eye of the beholder. Remove I've been harmed and the harm goes as well. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, Notebook 4, Note 7. If you decide not to be offended or beaten down by some poorly made comment or rejection, then you can go on your life without being destroyed by it. Things are going to suck. People will hurt your feelings, shove you around, and mistreat you. But if you decide not to let it get to you, it won't. You'll be hard-pressed but not destroyed, able to continue on with good morals, a strong heart, and courage for the steps ahead. It is like a Christian prayer to God, asking Him to get us to a point where we are at peace with ourselves and with you. According to Marcus Aurelius, your aim in life should be to be at peace with yourself and the powers that be. I hope you have watched the video with keen interest. These quotes, snippets, and lessons have blessed millions around the world, and they will bless you as well. Please support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.